Rise and shine. I tried to clean my kitchen before filming this, but I didn't feel like putting away my dishes. But also, if you care about that, then like, why? Okay, so I wanted to make Japanese pancakes this morning because I saw a video of someone doing it and I was like, I could do that. If it turns out bad, it's okay. I won't even know that it's bad because I've only had Japanese pancakes once in my life, and that was maybe 7 years ago. This took way too long. So, whatever. These taste like pancakes, which is good, but not the pancakes I was obviously hoping for. I made them mini because I thought that I could like build them up a little bit more if they were minier. Incorrect. Anyway, I'm gonna eat these and I'll see you in a bit. So I just kind of wanted to let you all know what I've been up to this week, things I've been thinking about, blah, blah, blah. I've been kind of realizing that my life is really boring. I feel like the more I make these videos, the more I realize how habitual and routine of a person I am, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think that when I think about social media and when you click on videos and you see people doing a million things, their life is so busy and so productive and so perfect. That's obviously not reality, and that's not my reality. And part of me doesn't really want to participate in internet culture in that way. Another part of me knows that even by showing all of the stuff I am showing, maybe it makes people feel like they are being less productive, but I don't know. I'm just having these thoughts right now. I wanted to let you all know that my old college is having an alumni exhibition. I decided I was going to submit the painting that I just finished in the last video. I felt like it made sense for me to do that because that's the most recent work I've made, and I kind of wanted to show some of my past teachers, I guess, what I've been up to. The opening for that show is going to be Tuesday, March 17th. The opening night is going to be March 19th. I'm gonna be at that if you wanna come say hi to me in IRL. I just got IRL and URL mixed up. I was like, is that the right one? It is. Anyway, opening night, March 19th, and then it closes on March 22nd. So it's a really short show. I'm gonna put all of the info in the description, just so if you do want to attend, you definitely can. And if you want to see my art in person, then you can go do that. And if you see me in person, just know that I am like super awkward. I can't help it. But it's not you that's being awkward, it's definitely just me. So just a heads up, I started a new piece. I feel like I'm still in this process of trying to figure out what I'm doing with my art. I think I'm always just trying to make sure that I'm making something that is really connected to me and what I want to get out there as an artist. And I find it's really difficult to get to that core sometimes of what you're trying to make. And that's basically the struggle that I'm going through. You know, I think I'm gonna change locations just because I don't like the lighting. Give me one sec. Okay. This honestly isn't that much better in my opinion, but it's something. Anyway, I'm still doing my morning pages. I think I'm now coming up on almost a year of doing my morning pages consistently. And that's crazy to think about. I think I've gone through like maybe 4 or 5 notebooks of morning pages. I try to do 3 pages every day, and I still really enjoy doing it. I honestly didn't know that this would be something that I would like as much as I like doing. It feels like a nice little check-in to have with myself every once in a while, and I really just like doing that. I like kind of knowing what's going on with me, because I feel like what's going on with me also influences my art. So yeah, still doing that, and very proud of myself for continuing on doing that. I also started a Word document of just jot notes about my own art, just so that I can get down into words a clearer idea of what I'm trying to do. If you want, actually, I will, no one wants, but it's my YouTube channel.
Well, I have a microphone and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
I will read you a bit of what I wrote and what I'm trying to, I guess, do with this new series of work. So again, they're just jot notes and like things that I'm thinking about. Will they make it into the final piece? Who knows? So I wrote healing, kintsugi, shishiko, embroidery, repair, silhouette, the construction of identity. I wrote down a bunch of questions to ask myself too. I wrote down what could I do differently in my process to create a unique image. Is participation something that I would like from the viewer? What new ground are we breaking with our art? I think these are really hard questions to ask yourself, but I think they're important to ask yourself as an artist. I think like thinking about breaking new ground as an artist is like such an intense thing to think about, because it almost feels like everything's been done before. But I don't think that that's enough of a reason to not make art. I think that you just need to keep pushing yourself and your art further and further until you kind of come to a place that you are breaking new ground. However little or small new ground that is, it doesn't matter. I wrote other things in here too, just things I'm thinking of using. I really want to make sure that I am incorporating a lot of mark making. I wrote thick and thin application of paint. I think I'm going to use some oil sticks, which I haven't used in a long time, but I think I will. Bright color. I also started researching artists that I really like, so I kind of wrote a bit about Faubism. I really like Matisse, so I put him in there. Gauguin, Helen Frankenthaler. I think it's good for me to just research them a little bit more, learn more about what they're talking about in their art, and see if there's any relation to my own work. I think any artist should do that, could do that, so there's that. Side note, I have been really bored with my sketchbook lately, and I don't quite know what to do about that. I just feel like it's become really predictable for me to work in my sketchbook in the way that I've been working in it. Like normally I just kind of find something off of Pinterest and then I just draw it in my sketchbook, and I don't know, I've just been so bored. I made something in my sketchbook the other day that I was like, okay, like this is a little bit more interesting. It's definitely incorporating more mark making into my practice. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like I need to do something to switch things up, because I don't know if any of you remember, but my original idea was to finish my sketchbook by the end of March. And I feel so far away from doing that, and I'm getting to this point where it feels just uninteresting to do that. Like, I always like to have some grace with myself when I'm feeling like this, but I don't want to give myself too much leeway and not end up finishing my sketchbook just because I don't feel like it and it's not interesting to me. I think that there's a lot to say about people who keep up with goals that they have even though it feels really hard or difficult or they don't want to anymore. So I'm trying to find workarounds for this sketchbook thing I'm dealing with right now. I've still been reading a lot. I am still reading, I don't remember if I talked about this in my last book, but I'm still reading Simone de Beauvoir, her autobiography. It's called The Prime of Life. I'm almost done. I don't know if you can see where my bookmark is. It's the red mark there. I'm so close to being done. Honestly, I felt like this book was not for me, but I'm proud of almost finishing it. Definitely gonna finish it this week. A lot of the things that she talked about were ideas that her and her boyfriend had at that time. And I think it's really cool to talk about ideas and stuff like that, especially because she is like a philosopher. I'm sure ideas are like one of the most important things. I have kind of got to a point in the book where she talks about the Second World War and what it was like living through that in Paris, which I think is really interesting. There's so many things I guess I just didn't know about what was happening, specifically I guess in Paris at that time. I feel like it's picked up a bit, so I'm sure I can get through this last little bit pretty quickly. I finished reading Dracula. I don't know if I even said I was reading Dracula, but I finished reading that. It was kind of long. I felt like some parts could have been taken out. I also didn't know the story of Dracula, so I found it a little bit hard to follow at times. I didn't know any of the characters, whereas I'm sure a lot of you probably know the characters in Dracula. I don't know. I just didn't know it. Probably because I try and stay away from scary things. I get scared very easily, and I don't like being scared, so I never learned the tale of Dracula. But the whole book is told through journal entries of different characters. There seems to be 5 main characters though that are the focus of the book. Again, I just didn't know if they would be main characters or not, so I was like, does this part even matter? Like, it was just a little bit confusing. But it was still good overall. I thought that like it was like a really good book. I guess worth reading. Really sold it to you on that, didn't I? Anyway, yeah. That's what's been going on with me. I saw Brandon this morning for a little coffee, but I barely filmed it because Brandon is one of those people that I see him and I forget the world. I can talk to him forever and ever. If he's in a room, he's the only person I really want to talk to. So I always get a little bit caught up when I'm with him. So I didn't really film too much of our excursion this morning, but it's okay. It's good to have fun. Anyway, I can't really think of anything else to tell you right now, so that's gonna be the end of this video. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you want to sub, then sub, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.